What's up, everyone? Tonight on 20,000 Films, we will be doing our spoiler-free review of Dune Part 2. So grab your spices, get your Dune popcorn bucket, and enjoy. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to 20,000 Films Under the Sea. I'm your host, DJ, and I'm joined by two lovely individuals. First, I'll introduce the five-star man, Devin, Brevin the Dude. How are you doing, my friend?
Cheers. I'm drinking a Red Bull at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Red Bull. Always the best kind of Red Bull, honestly.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
when Red Bull tastes at its peak, you know?
you know, I got so used to having the flavored Red Bulls that now when I take my first sip of like a cold regular Red Bull, it like gives me goosebumps and like chills. I don't know how to explain
Does it give you
It's just
does
like
it also give you superpowers?
it gives me wings.
Oh, of course. You know what? I walked into that one. We are also joined by Jenna Saw. Beautiful, here with us today. Welcome in. How are you doing today?
Hi. What? Yeah, Queen Bitchin'. That's me. Well, DJ doesn't know that. DJ wasn't here when I was.
Yeah, I
was out here bitching.
I wasn't born then.
You were just an embryo.
Yeah, I was just a sperm cell, just swimming around.
Just an embryo.
Yeah,
just chilling.
No, I hope not, because then we would be robbing the cradle. It was just a few years ago. I had a podcast myself, called "Let's Get Bitchin'," because I love bitchin'. I am bitchin'. And I love bitches. So
yeah, there you go.
I am the queen of bitchin'.
I agree with all of that.
The 3 or 4 B's.
No. The 3 or 4.
The 10.
All of
the
them.
10 bitch manments, if you will.
The bitch manments. Yeah.
I could come up with them, I'm sure.
we should
stay
have
bitchin', you know.
We should have a shipwreck episode where we write out the bitch manments of
the bitch manments.
That will probably be the ladies of GK episode.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be a ladies of GK.
You know that's happening. It's happening now.
It's happening.
We've raised. We met our goal. So yeah.
It's gonna happen. Hopefully, in the summer.
Hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see it.
Need to be.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to sit there and moderate the whole thing.
Are you? I don't think you're allowed.
I want to make sure we don't have any, dumb, viewers and commenters, because they like to show themselves.
Yeah, no, we're all there to. We're gonna police the chat. You know what I'm saying? We're there to hold it down.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. It doesn't happen that much around here. But do you remember when we used to get hate rated and shit like that? You remember those days?
Yep.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I wasn't born then. So.
Yeah.
I still haven't been born.
Yeah.
I was just wondering that today, DJ. How old are you?
I'm 23. 23.
Okay, you're a little older than I thought. That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah, you're a little older than I thought. That's honestly best compliment I've received.
I see that Tekken 8 shirt you got there.
Yeah, dude,
you getting in it.
Yeah,
you getting in it.
Yeah, dude. I got it. It's all the games on the back too.
Oh shit. That's cool. It's
from Uniqlo, dude. Uniqlo.
Yeah.
They did a new Tekken collab. So
that's rad.
As soon as I saw it, I bought it. Because I have zero impulse control.
Dude, I saw somebody on TikTok wearing the coolest Final Fantasy VII t-shirt I've seen.
Ooh.
And I went deep on the internet searching for it. I could not find it. I got to do some more looking, but I was inspired.
Apparently Rebirth is fire. Apparently Rebirth is insane.
I know. I remember that was the first game I snagged on the Fantasy Critic.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
I went in
hella points.
Yeah. Shane and Classic Rebirth is fire. 10 out of 10.
I still need to play the first remake. I need to play Intergrade, but
yeah. You said you own it, right?
I own it. Yeah, I just haven't been able to like get around to playing it. Sit down
Yeah,
to play
can't
it.
get away from Tekken.
I can't, dude. I just reached red ranks the other night, so I'm proud of myself for
Hmm.
that. Beating people's asses, getting my ass beat. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
Favorite
crazy.
pastime.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's taking every fiber in my being not to just go buy a PS5 right now.
Just
Just
like I need
just yeah.
inject rebirth into
Well,
me.
I went searching on the internet because originally when the game was announced, it said it was going to be on PS5 and PC, and I found so many different sources, like including like PC Gamer, like the
Mhm.
official website said
Yeah.
that PlayStation actually only has a 3-month exclusivity window on Final Fantasy VII
Uh,
Rebirth, so it's only
so
exclusive to the PlayStation till May.
yeah, so once May comes
Mm.
around, you will not shut up about Final Fantasy
No, I
because
will not.
you will not.
That's if I
I
don't cave and just buy a PS5 to play it. You know what I mean?
oh man.
So,
I mean, who knows, dude? Maybe a PS5 falls at your doorstep. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Santa said, "Oh shit, forgot to deliver this." You know?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, listeners, take note.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we're
Yeah.
never gonna fail to deliver because this is 20,000 Films Under the Sea, your choice for all the nerdy pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want each and every week. If you like that, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics of the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go on live on a podcast and video service near you. But if you emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that's cool with us. You can watch us record this show live right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show. I repeat, twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show, just like Shane and Drax in the chat. If you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime, and we would love for you to give that to us to help us keep the lights on and cameras rolling. But you can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, hitting subscribe, or by leaving a review on our podcast channel by searching 20,000 Films Under the Sea, and we'll be waiting there for you.
And then one day, Ernell will sing the Under the Sea song that Sebastian sings, and he will alter his voice just like Sebastian for you.
Arnell's dead, dude. I don't know. He passed.
Ernell's dead. He'll do it from the grave.
Don't talk about my father that way.
He's dead. In air quotes.
No, he's not dead. He's off fighting sadistic space Teletubbies.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh no.
Yeah. I had to fight my battle against the space squirrels, but now he's fighting sadistic Teletubbies right now.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sad day.
Yeah, it turns out that he's found them in California, Oregon, Washington, and now Utah.
It sucks he had to get drafted into that, you know.
I know, right?
But, he's fighting the good fight.
Yeah. He's keeping them off our planet.
Genesee!
Yes.
We have some director's commentary. First off, we're sorry. Mostly I'm sorry for the misupload of Death Ratio and the Shipwreck show for this week. So if you guys on YouTube or if you guys are following the other podcast channels and you didn't see it at the time it was supposed to release, we apologize. Some mishaps, some technical difficulties, but we're back on track, and hopefully this episode will be posted at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time the next day of this recording. Also, all of our shows are on your favorite podcast service of choice. We're about 3 episodes deep each, or for Death Ratio and 20,000 Films, which includes this episode. So, go follow us on there and be sure to rate us and leave your feedback because, we want to make this show better for you guys. We want this show to entertain you so you guys don't feel embarrassed to share with your friends that this podcast is great. You ever hang out with your friends and they bring up the subject of a podcast that they're listening to, you shouldn't be embarrassed to mention us, okay? You should actually be proud. Me personally, I bring it up every chance I get. I'm ordering coffee at my local community coffee. They said, would you like some sugar with that? It's like, actually, I run a podcast with a few other people. mostly based out of the Pacific Northwest. He's like, but we're in Louisiana. It's like, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Okay, it's a great podcast. It's a great
is
listen.
it bad that like I bring up the podcast in like interviews?
That's not that bad because like you know
mean,
you know how to manage like equipment and you know speak with people like that
shows I'm computer literate.
Yeah,
I mean,
some
just
people,
know that if you mention it in an interview, then they can look into that. Like
Yeah.
they can watch
Oh,
it.
I definitely
and see what you
think
say
I
on the
definitely
podcast.
like do some vetting beforehand. You know what I mean? Like do
Yeah.
vetting beforehand. You know, when I did my interview with my previous insurance job, I brought it up,
Mhm.
and I remember when I got to the third and final video because it was all through like you know Zoom and stuff like that. I remember the second the manager got on, he like saw my camera quality and my sound, and he's like, "This is the best I've ever had in an interview before." Like, it was the first thing he said. But yeah, it's all about the vetting. It's like you know, right
Yeah.
place, right person type of deal.
Yeah,
But
they go look up the podcast and they magically click on the episode where you're like, man, fuck my fucking job, fuck this, dude, fuck this.
you know,
I hate
very
working.
No, they're gonna find the low-key episode where we talk about alligator masturbation is what they're gonna find.
you know, at least that one's a few years old at this point.
It's also
Maybe he grew. Maybe he's a better person now.
Was I on that one? I don't know if I was on
I don't
that
know
one.
if
I don't know. I was a part of that train
I
wreck.
know you
which
were.
Is why
I
I,
know
don't
you
tell
and
my
Ernell were for-
employers.
I think it was you, Ernell, and Garrick.
Garrick was on. Yeah, Ernell and I led that train wreck. We drove it straight into the ground, and it was great. It was a great time.
Yeah,
But that's why I tell everybody except for my employers about the podcast. Because they don't need to know that.
Yeah. Well, I never say the name of the podcast though. It's not like it's on.
Oh,
my
that's
just mention that
resume
you're
or anything.
on one.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
some
You can still find it if
random-
The way I
Google it.
phrase it, I was like, I run a podcast.
Yeah,
You
just
know
do
what
the
I
back
mean?
end stuff.
Yeah.
It's the back end.
Yeah. We may be a
That's
mess,
fun.
you know,
Just
like
looks like
60% of the time, but there's a
Yeah.
lot of times where it goes perfect.
Don't listen to Ernell or Genesee. There's some sick fucks.
Yeah, they got some things in their heads that need to let out, and sometimes it verbally
Get
vomits.
past them.
Yeah.
Just fast forward. The rest of us do. No.
Sometimes I just stare off into the distance and "Hello Darkness, My Old Friend" plays in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
you know that 1,000-yard
That's
stare.
everybody,
just
right?
into-
Yeah. That's a good gun in Destiny.
Well, we're gonna move into our next segment. Devin, can you tell the people at home what our next segment is?
Abso-freaking-lutely. We're getting straight into it, guys. We have been on the cutting room floor. We have reviewed it ourselves. So we are about to provide to you the final cut.
Hey, I don't have the special shit Ernell has, but we are
Final cut.
the
Cut.
final. Tonight we are doing our spoiler-free review of Dune Part 2. And Dune Part 2 is Paul Atreides unites with Shani and the Fremen while on a warpath of revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family. Facing a choice between the love of his life and the fate of the known universe, he endeavors to prevent a terrible future only he can foresee. Ooh.
See.
This film was released March 1st, 2024. Today, this is the day of the recording. It released today. Directed by Denis Villeneuve. Villeneuve. Sorry. Wow.
I think Genesee said it the most correct way out of the three of us.
Villeneuve.
I mean,
Genesee's
heard
always
somebody
on it.
pronounce it weird. I heard somebody pronounce it weird, and like because I was like going through some like review videos and stuff earlier, and they pronounce it Villeneuve.
Villeneuve. Huh?
And then they didn't say Dennis. They said Denise.
Jesus.
I think it would also be correct if you said Villanueva.
I think that is the
Because
most
the
correct.
L's,
Yeah,
the
because like
L's
that, because
don't.
like last names like that confuse me because like especially in Louisiana, because we're mixing with that Cajun and
Oh,
Creole speak. So like
Mhm.
sometimes shit's spelled
Creole.
some way, but it's actually pronounced different. Like, w- it's phonetically said like Natchitoches. There's a city Natchitoches, like
mhm.
NATCHI, but we say Natchitoches. That is
Uh-huh.
not like that shit like that and like other things.
In
Well, that's
Portland,
because.
we have a river called the Willamette, but it is spelled
Oh, yeah.
Williamette.
Willamette.
No, well, it's spelled Willamette.
Same
There's
difference.
not an I in there. I mean, there is in the first part, but not in the.
Or Cooch Street.
Cooch is a trip. It's a trip.
Cooch.
But yeah. When you first move here, you call it couch, and everybody looks at you funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it's
yeah. I was
Cooch.
just down in Couch Street over there. Like what?
They're
mean
like,
Cooch
"What the fuck?"
Everyone turns around
Get
like,
out!
what the fuck?
Yeah, no, literally.
It's a fitting name for the area of Portland too.
Cooch.
It's-
Cooch Street.
Yeah.
Cooch.
Smells.
That makes perfect sense, DJ, because y'all are it's like an adaptation of the French alphabet, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is where that comes from. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's how I think that I'm correctly pronouncing Villanueva is because it's
Yeah.
a Spanish alphabet, so the L's are different and the E's are different.
Yeah, because like that's why I get mixed up because like it's such a melting, like especially like where I live in Louisiana, it's such a melting pot of different cultures. So it's like whoever pronounces it first, I guess that's the right way to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
Guess you're God now.
yeah, I guess you own that word. I heard you. I never heard you say that before. This film has a budget of $190 million, big M. With the box office of right now, with domestic previews, is $12 million with the $80 million projection. But it did do $21 million overseas, according to a few sources I picked up from yesterday and today. So it's good. People are watching it, and it could be a smash hit. But we'll talk more about that. Oh, Devin,
I got an
you have
update.
Update.
This is coming from Deadline. Dune Part 2 worms its way to $70 million opening Friday box office.
There it is.
Good.
There it is. 70
Word.
schmillion. $70 million. Hey,
So that's
Warner
domestic?
I think WB projected they make 66 as a conservative estimate. So not bad.
Well,
Not
they
bad at all.
haven't exceeded their budget yet. That they'd have to do, or was that just 66 box office opening?
Box
or
office
was that-
opening. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for opening night, yeah. So not bad. Not bad at all for first opening night. Well, this movie has a runtime of 2 hours and 46 minutes. You guys feel the runtime on this film?
I thought it was very fitting. I did not feel like the movie was too long at all. Like I felt I enjoyed myself when I sat down, honestly.
Mhm.
It didn't
really
feel like
picks
it
up
was that
towards the
long.
end.
Yeah, the end starts like you're really at the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
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 Which
And
we'll
it
get
was
into
not
that.
at all like Dune 1. I feel like if it had been 2 hours and 47 minutes of Dune 1,
No,
I'd be
Dune
like-
Dune 1 was at the end. It was a drag because like it was a transition
Yeah.
between that and this film. But
and this,
the Bechdel test is a measure of the representation of women in film and other fiction. The test asks whether a work features at least 2 women who talk to each other about something other than a man for more than 1 minute of screen time. Does Dune Part 2 pass the Bechdel test? Yes, apparently it does. Even though I feel like it almost didn't.
Yeah.
It almost didn't. Because
there's a lot of talking about Paul.
yeah,
There
Paul and
is.
the Emperor, you know, it's all this. Or
I kind of want to know where,
yeah.
So-
why ever 2 women talking?
The website that we use, it's what's the name of it? Here, one second.
Mhm.
where's my bookmarks? It's a Bechdel test movie list website. And on it, Dune part, usually they have all the movies listed and they put like an X or a check mark next to it. Obviously, X is no and the check mark is yes. Dune Part 2 has the check mark in it, but it doesn't have the conversation listed for us.
Mm.
And usually it does, but it says it has 3 minutes and 37 seconds of two women talking to each other without
Really?
a man. Yeah.
Where?
And I was looking for it.
Well,
so
okay, wait,
everybody
wait.
take it with a grain of salt.
No,
this
no.
is the
No.
the site
I know where it
that
happens.
Yeah.
Where?
When,
Tell me.
When the Reverend Mother goes to the South for the first time and she meets the lady that takes the shit out the worm. That's the only time, because like at the end of the conversation she mentions there will be a man.
They talk about him.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think that whole sequence
But
counts.
the worm probably doesn't have a gender, so that
that counts too, I guess.
Talking
It's
about
just
a
worm
and
genderless
then
worm.
also
for
maybe
3
like,
minutes.
towards the end. I don't know. It 3 minutes. I don't know if that was 3 minutes, but that definitely could have counted. Definitely could have been.
Like I said, the movie didn't feel as long as it did.
Also, do they like chop it up? Is it like 15 seconds of them talking about the world and not a man? So they're like, okay, we got 15. Okay, we got 20.
I think it has to be at least 60 seconds.
Long.
I think that's like a whole minute without
The whole
that.
conversation.
And then they cut it.
Yeah.
Then they can add whatever.
And then they
I think that's the rule. I don't know. I don't write the rules. I just watch the movies.
We just work
okay.
here. We just work here.
We're just messengers. Okay, we don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, we're just telling you what it says, and if they change it, we'll correct ourselves. We will.
All right, so we're gonna move on to some fun facts about the film that I found. This film was actually just officially greenlit on October 26, 2021, which was 4 days after Dune Part 1's US release. Which is pretty crazy. People were clamoring for some more Dune, some more spice.
Yeah. Well, you know why they didn't greenlight Part 2? It's because it's Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers apparently has a really hard time making good movies now.
Yeah. That is true. Dennis Villeneuve. Fuck. I already forgot how to pronounce it. Dennis
Villeneuve.
Villeneuve. Okay, Villeneuve. All right, I gotta write that in my brain. Dennis Villeneuve said he will not release any deleted scenes, explaining in a quote, "I'm a strong believer that when it's not in the movie, it's dead. I kill darlings, and it's painful for me. Sometimes I remove shots, and I say, I cannot believe I'm cutting this out. I feel like a samurai opening my gut. It's painful, so I cannot go back after that and create a Frankenstein and try to reanimate things that I killed. It's too painful. When it's dead, and it's dead for a reason. But yes, it is a painful project, but it is my job. The movie prevails. I'm very, I think, severe in the editing room. I'm not thinking about my ego. I'm thinking about the movie." End quote. Yeah, that was yeah. That's valid point.
Yeah, it's like we know there's like characters that are in the first movie that we never got any like we never got any resolution for the character, whether they died or not. Remember that guy that's like the biological like human computer who can analyze and stuff like that. I forgot his name in the first movie, but like when they were like making their like going over statistics and stuff, their eyes would roll into the back of their head and stuff like that.
Vaguely.
Yeah,
I can't really remember.
We never found out what happened to him. Yeah, we never found out what happened to him, and he was not in the second movie at all. I forgot the actor's name, but I was going over some facts about it, and there were scenes of him shot for Dune Part 2, but every single scene got cut out. Every single one.
Damn.
Every single one. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Part 3. Maybe for Part 3.
Yeah.
Also,
for Part 3.
Dennis Villeneuve described Fade Rotha Harkonnen, Austin Butler, as a, quote, cross between a psychopathic killer an Olympic swordmaster, a snake, and Mick Jagger. End quote. Jagger had actually been attached to play the character in Alejandro Jodorowsky's failed Dune adaptation in the 1970s.
I fucking love that.
Yeah, so that's such a great descriptor. I'll be honest. Like, and you kind of and now reading that kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense now looking at him, because he does act that way. But we'll get into it. And lastly, Stellan Skarsgård's body makeup took 8 hours to apply and 2 hours to remove for every day of shooting. He didn't drink anything and took Imodium pills in order to avoid having to go to the bathroom during shooting days. That's intense.
That's nuts. 10 hours of his day was just makeup processing.
Right.
And he probably did at least another 6 to 8 hours of shooting. You know what I mean? Like
every day is shooting. 8 hours. Imagine not just him waking up early to do that, but also the makeup people having to wake up even earlier to prep, like get all this stuff together and like just making sure everything's like a-okay. Like, that's intense. And to stay 2 hours after. Imagine you at your job and your boss tells you to stay 2 hours after. Fuck no.
I wonder how much money he got paid.
Hopefully he got paid a shit ton.
I mean, here's the thing. He is an incredible actor. Actor. He I feel like he never misses his mark. So when he devotes himself to a role,
the makeup people are paid. I hope they're getting paid. That's a big thing. Oh man, that's intense. Well, we gotta get into it. We gotta cut into the meat of this thing. So let's do our top level thoughts of Dune Part 2. And I'm gonna start with you, Genesee. Well, what did you think after watching Dune Part 2?
I had a great time. This is like the comedy of the year, TBH. I don't know why. I was laughing the whole time.
Really?
Yeah. And like there was a really, like, especially like the first half of the movie. I feel like towards the second half, not as many people were laughing with me, but I was like, I'm sorry. You look Austin Butler's face in the eye while he is fucking Timothée Chalamet and not laugh. Like, I thought it was so funny. I thought it was hilarious. But like for the first half of the movie, the whole theater that I was in just laughing away. That was hilarious. But other than it being comical genius, something I really appreciated about this movie is that I noticed how much it utilized silence and sound. Like I was just absolutely impressed with how selective their dialogue was. It wasn't that they didn't have dialogue, because there was plenty of it, but I would be really interested in breaking this film down by how much people were actually talking in it, because I think that there's a very good portion of it that is just other sounds and silence. They utilized silence so well in this, like to a point that I noticed it and I was like, damn. And in the silence, the actors were acting their asses off. Oh my god, the looks that Zendaya as Chani gives, I was like, I think Paul Atreides might have just been murdered. Like, I think he's dead now. I think Chani killed him with her eyes. Like, I was so impressed by this entire cast and the way that they truly, they had to do so much with their facial expressions and their body. That was just impeccable. I think Dune is a really difficult thing to approach because it is something that exists on its own, and not just because it's a book. Like, oh yeah, all book adaptations have that, but Dune is one of few that it's not just a book. Like it's a universe that has people have expectations of what Dune is, and at the same time, you have people closer to me of like, I haven't read all of Dune, and so I don't have the all of the background. Like, I know that there are things in this movie that I didn't fully understand, because I don't fully understand the politics and the little details of the people that you do get in the book. But at the same time, it was still very enjoyable. It was still very clear what was happening and what's at stake, which I think can be really hard for book adaptations sometimes, is getting those stakes right. And I feel like this film adaptation of Dune really got it. I was also really impressed with Timothy Chalamet. And I say that because Timothy Chalamet is just one of the weirdest dudes out there. Because he's in so many things. I think he's unquestionably a very talented actor. And at the same time, people love to hate Timothy Chalamet. And I love that. At the top. I love it. What?
And I mean, yeah, because he's just in every. It's like the what's that guy's name? What Star-Lord from?
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, yeah, like
he's
well, okay, yeah, but you know, it's in the
I'm
similar
sorry,
vein.
if you're gonna be homophobic, I'm not gonna like you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but I'm saying like, you know, like even before that, like I'm tired of seeing this guy. Like in other reasons, I'm just tired of seeing him everywhere.
Yeah.
Can I say this though? Timothy Chalamet is one of us. He got his start as a YouTuber modding Xbox 360 controllers. He is one of us. All right.
Timothy Chalamet is a fucking trip, dude. He's also, I think he's really fun because whenever he's acting, I feel like he has 3 facial expressions, and they're all variations of.
Okay.
He's straight mocking the camera. Yeah, he's like fucking mewing. He's like fucking look at the jaw.
His performance though.
Yeah, look at my jawline.
In this,
dude, he has a jawline. It's like has a definitive curve.
That thing could cut diamonds, dude. I swear to God. That thing could cut diamonds.
Is the actor.
Yeah, the jawline is the actor. I'm gonna call it right now. 10 years from now, he's gonna be Batman. 10 years from now, he's gonna be Batman. I'm calling it
for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call it right now.
Give him like just a stubble, like just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little stubble.
Yeah, it's there. It's there.
Yeah.
Genesee swoons.
No, literally, this is the swooniest cast ever. Are you kidding? They put Zendaya, Timothy Chalamet, and Florence Pugh in a room, and I was like,
and Josh Brolin. And Josh Brolin.
Like, literally everybody.
So many fuckable people in this set, man.
So many. So many, and they all look fabulous. The costuming department on this whole movie, oh my god! Whoever got Timothy Chalamet's costume to flurry in the wind like that needs a fucking raise. Oh my god,
that's like video game level of like just like like I'm the badass just standing here like.
No, it was so impressive, and I was honestly shocked. There are moments in this film where Paul Atreides has to own the room. He absolutely commands it. Like, this movie is about Paul becoming who he's supposed to be. It's all about, this whole series is all about prophecy, and it's all about this destiny, right? And this film is the turning point where Paul has to become his destiny. He has to become the destiny of his whole world. So many like things are riding on that, and Timothy did it. He made Paul come through, and I feel like even just from the beginning of this, he starts out as a bit of a boy, and then by the end, like, oh shit, this is a man. Like, this is a leader, and he is just very commanding. And I would not have expected that from Timothy just off the bat. If you told me like, oh, this man was going to have to command a room of thousands with his voice, I'd be like,
no way, man.
Please. That bottom, please.
Yeah.
He did
Who let this twink into the room?
Bottom into the room. But I ate my words. I was like, wow.
Yeah, he's like, whoa. Okay. I wasn't familiar with your game, Mr. Chalamet. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's Son Al Gaib, dude. Fuck, man. Oh shit.
Literally.
That's you, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, Devin, what do you think of what are your top
Yo,
level thoughts?
first of all, when they say you need to see this movie on the big screen and that it's meant for the big screen, they are absolutely right. The cinematography in this movie, the colorization of this movie, the set pieces, the sound design, I think the best way I could describe it as it is cinematically explosive, even when it's at its
Mm.
quietest. This movie is gorgeous. It's gorgeous in the sense of writing, it's gorgeous in the sense of dialogue, in the action set pieces. The pacing through this movie does not it is not a slow burn at all. It has parts where it quiets down for a moment to kind of like bring you back into the depth of the situation and the seriousness, and then it is so expansive as it's following Paul go through his ascendancy, right?
Mm-hmm.
To his Duke bloodline and the prophecy of what is foretold by the people of Arrakis, right? It is awesome. Um they show it in the trailer when they start riding the worms. That is
Oh, dude.
insane.
Yeah.
Insane. Like absolutely great to watch. Hi, Esco, welcome. um, it is so good. I like the very first movie with Timothy Chalamet's performance. He does give scared little boy vibes. He does, like
Yeah.
throughout the movie. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. You know, where do I
Which is
go?
Call
fair.
the police.
Your
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
family is murdered except for your mom. So fair,
I mean,
you should be scared.
yeah. But this movie, there's a confidence, not just behind his character, but behind his portrayal of the character,
Mm-hmm.
really. And I thought that was missing a little bit in the first movie,
Mhm.
honestly. And he was, don't get me wrong, I liked the first movie a lot, but I like this movie even more because it showed, like, the actors showed that they believe their roles even more. You know, they really put their all into it. Zendaya's performance was great.
Oh
Was
my god, yeah.
so good.
Really
Like all
good.
of her emotion in her role as Chani was so believable. Um Down to every last bit. Even with that nice thickum smack right there in that scene, you know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. You
Also
Yeah.
turn
felt
on.
that.
Yeah.
The whole theater felt that slap.
Oh yeah.
Like
We were
Yeah.
all like,
like that's
harder, harder.
yeah.
But like I really, and I always touch on this on movies. I talked a lot about, I think the last time that I talked about this was with the creator, but the sound design was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Like absolutely incredible. um Another note that I really liked is when they went to the planet of the Harkonnen and they showed a little bit in the trailer. I found out the reason why the tone shifted in like the colorization, why it was kind of had that inkwell black and white look, is because
Mhm.
their sun is actually a black
Awesome.
sun. So
Yeah.
that is the way
Yeah.
that light illuminates that world, which is really cool that they actually have things like that in their universe and they're displaying it
And that's why the
visually like that. They
Harkonnens
don't
look
even
like that.
talk about it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's
I
really
really, really like that. Which makes me a lot curious for how other worlds are, and if it's going to be kind of like, you know, with like Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, how like each dimension had its own art style. If we might see something similar to that in the sense of like how light and contrast is displayed from planet
for
to
sound.
planet, yeah, and sound.
I could
Um,
see a soundless planet where they
that would be
sign
cool.
or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or kind of like that deep space, kind of like where everything's like really muffled and almost quiet when there's supposed to be sound. That'd be really cool. Um, the costume design was amazing. I loved Florence Pugh's chainmail like dress.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was absolutely gorgeous. It was the design work, and when Jessica the mother becomes the grandmother and she has that red like veil over her with the tattoos on her face and everything. Oh, so good, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mhm.
I loved it. um seeing Josh Brolin come back in the movie. I love that man. I think he's one of my favorite actors. I really do. I really do. And he had a very believable part in this movie as well. Um, moving on to Austin Butler. Oh my god. Oh my god. What a sadistic fuck, dude. That guy is
Yeah.
insane. When they say he method acts, I fucking believe it. I would not have wanted to be on the set with him while he's playing this role, like at all. Just
Terrifying.
I did
yeah.
read somewhere that he for this film he actually toned it down with the method acting.
Did he?
I would hope
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Hold
Yeah.
on, let me let me look. I think I read it somewhere here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, while you pull that up, for some context, he recently played Elvis, and he did his method acting
Mhm.
thing where he underwent a lot of voice coaching to get the Elvis voice to the point where it like permanently altered his voice, and he had to go through like in his everyday life he couldn't get out of it, and he had to go through intense voice coaching all over again to
Yeah.
revert back to his usual voice. And I
Uh,
even now I think it's not like how it was.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. He said Austin Butler said he toned down his method acting for playing Fade Rotha. Quote: I've definitely in the past with Elvis explored living within that world for 3 years, and that the only thing that I think about day and night. With Fade, I knew that I knew that that would be unhealthy for my family and friends, so I made a conscious decision to have a boundary. It allowed for more freedom between actions and cut because I knew I was going to protect everybody else outside of the context of what we were doing.
You
That's
know
not to
what?
say that it doesn't bleed into your life, but I knew that I wasn't going to do anything dangerous outside of that boundary, and in a way that allowed me to go deeper. Villanueva said, when the camera was on, it was like you were possessed. When the camera was off, you were still maybe like 25 to 30% fade. Just enough to still be present and focused, but removed enough that you didn't kill anybody on set.
Jesus Christ. At
Dude.
least he was consciously aware of his own faults and took the steps to correct it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, look, I can't accidentally murder anyone because I
Yeah.
get too method.
Yeah. I there is something I do want to touch on the costume design. I kind of want to circle back to that. The more I think about it is the Emperor, played by the great Christopher Walken, right?
Yeah.
Um I think his garments were pretty plain and kind of boring compared to the rest of the cast for being the Emperor, you know?
But I think
It
that
just looked
that's a
like he
great
was wearing a
contrast,
sheet.
though.
Yeah.
Like he has so much power that he doesn't need to show it. Like he's
Yeah.
at the top
I
already.
agree.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I've never read the books. From what I hear, this is a pretty good adaptation of the story that's been told in the books, and this is probably the most faithful compared to the movies from what I've seen. Um I am really interested to see where this story goes, just because of the one thing I know that they did change and showed. I think we're supposed to be getting like some sort of time jump in the next movie, essentially,
Mm,
because from what they showed in this movie, there was supposed to be a time jump from the rest of the story to the climax, right?
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
And we're supposed to have
Yeah,
something else. Yeah, yeah. So I'm
time was
interested.
passing in a weird way. Like it felt, I
Yeah.
mean, like months
Through the
passed
film.
over like a
Yeah,
few
I was
minutes.
gonna mention that when I was talking. Oh, if when
Hmm.
it got to me, because it definitely felt like just you just lose track of time in a good way. In a good
Hmm.
way, in a way that's like, well, I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's like you know what's going on. It's just like there's no set
Hmm.
time frame. It's not like, oh, 1 week of doing this. It's not like a whole
Hmm.
like arcing thing. It's more like, oh, these are just events that are happening within this continuous like strip
Mhm.
in time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Shane, does this lead into a war? Let's just say there is a war in this movie.
There's a war scene.
Yeah,
War scene in
yeah,
this
there is a
movie.
war scene in this movie. And this definitely does it definitely sets up another movie. It really does. Um, so it is only one war in this movie. So yeah, I will
It's
say that.
there's
I
definitely
will
a
say that.
war.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a
Yeah.
by the
war.
way, the
Well,
way that was executed was awesome. That was a visual spectacle. Um, yeah, yeah. Um,
and I think that that's part of this story too. That's really interesting is like who decides why you go to war and or who
mhm,
decides what war is, because like
mhm,
the ruling class at first like is like, oh, we need to avoid a war. We need to avoid a war. We need to control this so we don't have a war. Whereas you see the Fremen who are like, we are at war.
Yeah.
mhm.
Our homes are being are threatened. Like our way of life is threatened. We are at war. And so I know that's not the question you're asking because you're asking something really specific, but I do think that that is like uh, a message that this story is trying to tell of like what is
Mhm.
war and who decides.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a holy war, right? That this is the whole undertone of this movie is about religion, right? And I'm not gonna say why it is, but that's what it is. Um, I do want to point out there is one part where Paul it I think it's Timothy Chalamet's best acting in the movie. And it and
Talking about the
God,
circle.
yep.
Yeah.
The cave thing.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
circle. Yeah.
that was a great. I wish it was actually a little longer and a little bit more in
Oh,
depth, but what we got was
It probably was. There probably
fantastic.
was more
it's
scenes to that.
incredible.
Yeah,
That were
Yeah.
shot.
it
I
was
love that.
great, and I love how it brought so many main characters together too, all in the same spot, and it wasn't just a couple, and it was him interacting with so many other characters that some of them we don't even have names for, but
Yeah.
just I felt like everybody did a great job in that scene,
And they name dropped the
and
movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was
I was like, they said it.
great.
He said it.
Yeah,
I
He
was
that
said
in
it.
that was
dude, it was
great.
insane. And it was
Yeah,
well placed too, because that
Yeah.
can
It
be a
wasn't
mhm,
tricky
like,
thing.
it's like, oh, we're on the dunes and the sand. No, like it was
No.
well placed call out to the
mhm,
film name, which that whole
Yeah, and it
scene is
has
just incredible.
mhm,
yeah. Yeah, that and that the like the depth of that I feel like this whole movie has so much depth. Like I'm just thinking of like there's like choreography almost
Hmm.
with like people standing and sitting and moving forward and moving back and turning away from each other. Like every single part of this movie was so thought out. And that scene I feel like is like the perfect if you could only show someone one scene to be like, what is this movie about? You'd be
yeah.
like, there, you got it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Also, like the use of like extras and other actors for a lot of the scenes too, instead of it being like heavily CGI. Like even the worms in the movie looked believable, you know,
Hmm.
and the way that they were interacting with the environment and just everything, the way that it interacts with the environment, they did such a good job making it look believable. And it almost kind of looked like it had like with our modern colorization, it almost looked like it was shot on film because it had like a soft look to it. It didn't have like really hard, sharp edging to like a lot of the characters and the CGI and stuff like that. Which made me feel more immersed in the movie as it went on. I know I said a lot. I think I can stop there. I need to leave some stuff for DJ to talk about because
I mean,
yeah, I could keep
you
going.
guys both covered all the things that I was gonna talk about. I mean, like, and even more so than
Mhm.
I caught watching the movie. I think,
Mhm.
I mean, I was the one I watched Dune Part One just recently, like a few months ago, for the first time, and it was great. It was a good movie, and I enjoyed it, and I even was like, um towards the end of the film, like the last 30 minutes, I fell asleep, but almost fell asleep. It just didn't grab me as like the first hour and 30 did. Um, if that makes sense. But this film I didn't even think about looking away. Like, like ever been to like a film where you feel guilty about having to go to use the restroom, so you just hold it in?
Yes.
Like that's how I felt with this film. Like I need every second of this. I need to see every second of it because again, it was shot beautifully. The sound design, the costumes, the characters, the dialogue in between, between those characters, everything is just set up um, so well, and everything is with purpose. Everyone's moving with purpose. Everyone's like, wherever they are in the scene, that's where they're supposed to be, and they're doing their motherfucking job, you know, like, and it's crazy how everyone that's on screen, whether you're extra or it's like a main cast member, like they add weight to the story. Like they matter in this world and they make you care about these people, you know? Like, you know, we think of extras in the background as like, oh yeah, they're just gonna die off. But like each one of them, like this film with its story in its context, like makes you care about each and every one that Paul is leading into battle, leading to paradise, you know, with the themes of these, with the focus on religion in this and the prophecy and like seeing if Paul is up to the task, whether he wants to accept or deny it. And to what you said, Genesee, about it being your favorite comedy film for this year. There is some funny moments scattered throughout the film, especially the second half. And I when you said that, I was reminded of a scene. Um, the
it's
kiss.
Funny.
You remember the kiss?
Oh my God, yeah.
I was like, whoa! Like I was like, whoa! I guess that's part of Harkonnen tradition. I guess that came out of left field for me.
Yeah.
But me personally, you know, I feel like, you know, two men giving each other a kiss on the lips, you know, in the
Your
context
uncle?
of being the alien bad guys. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was funny. It was just really funny to see that. It's like that's your nephew, dude. Like that's Devin.
Slightly off topic, but one other thing I wanted to mention, the choreography in the fight scenes for this movie.
Really
Oh.
good.
Really,
Incredible.
really good. Timothy Chalamet is not a big man. He is not.
Mm-mm.
But he was vicious. And
He was
all I have
imposing
to
for
say,
sure. Imposing.
all I have to say on that is may my dagger chip and shatter.
Yeah.
Ooh, dude.
Yeah.
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 And I
I'm not.
think
I'm
that-
never referring to that man as a twink ever again after that. Scene.
Oh, I will. Twink daddy all day. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what? And I think that's part of it too. Is like, I mean, we joke. We don't really know if Timothy
Yeah,
Chalamet is a
we
twink. So
just
like, whatever he's into
give
is
him shit.
fine. We accept
Yeah.
heterosexuals too. But I think that like that idea of like, I don't know, like let's take twinks. I think that they can be really powerful depending on like context and like so we take a skinny ass European starving looking dude like Timothy Chalamet and we don't put him in an MMA fight, right?
Yeah, we
don't put him in like, we're not putting him in certain scenarios. We're not like, this is a different fight than what we see in Marvel. This is a different fight than what we see in like so many things. He is like, especially because you see him from the beginning, it was very important that you know that he's a honed weapon, right? Like and the type of fighting that he does is sword and dagger. It is with his body and it's all very precise. And because of that, these fights aren't dragged out. They aren't made to be explosive. They aren't made to be bigger than they are. They are meant to be. They are efficient. And because of that, they carry more weight.
Mm-hmm.
I felt.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, one wrong, because like with the choreography and how it looks, it's like it's precise movements. It's not like just block, you know, like this and that, like just throwing stuff. It's all very fluid, and like one mistake can cost you your life. You know what I mean? Like you stab wrong, you slice wrong, you slash wrong, you move wrong.
One step wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Devin, you bring up a great point with the choreography. Action choreography was incredible. The action scenes in this movie were incredible. Had me on the edge of my seat. Like the how everything in this film comes together, in the sense of like it just it suspends that disbelief so well, and I'm so immersed, like I'm in it, like I'm with the Fremen, you know, like fucking ganging up, like I like I'm there, right? Like I'm there on Arrakis, like ready to fucking die, put my life on the line for the fucking prophet. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it feels,
Yes.
and it feels, and
Yeah.
and you can
For
feel the
Chani.
stakes.
Yeah, it was Chani for me. I was ready
Mhm.
to sacrifice my life for her. I was like, she's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
prophet.
Yeah,
Yeah. For
yeah,
real. And
like
also like the way that the Fremen just like come out of the ground and the way that they hide
yeah,
in
like
the
they just
Oh.
pop
sand.
out, like
Ugh,
whoa,
yeah.
like you know,
Yeah.
surprise.
So good. So good.
It's great. And to go back to what I was talking about with like the funny moments, like just Stilgar being the being Timothy or being Paul's biggest fanboy, and with this little fanboy group, I think that is hilarious. He's like,
Yeah.
as it
Really
was
cute.
written, as it was written.
He's so humble.
He has to be the prophet.
He's humble about
I
being
told you.
the
I told
prophet.
you.
Okay, that part was funny. That part was funny.
That's hilarious.
No,
And
that's what I was laughing at.
Yeah.
Especially because he says it all with a straight face. Like,
I love how they make fun of him. They're like, "Oh, it's a big one," and he's like, "Oh, not the big one."
not the. He's like, hey, don't show off, okay? Like, yeah, like, but he and he says it with straight face, but he says it like in such confidence, and it's so charming in that way. It's like, yes, as it was written, like I told you guys. Like, what are you, like, what are we standing around for?
He's the one.
but like that contrasts so well with his character because he's super serious too. Like in his super serious scenes, like especially when they give Paul his new name, like just I welcome you as my brother. Like that is like that animal. We look at the northern stars and we call that name. You know, like that was sick. That's a sick moment. Like that
Yeah.
in the film is filled with moments like that where it's like
yeah.
it kind of makes you feel the like the lightheartedness and like just the life of living out there in Arrakis, and then it just hits you. They stonewall you here, and it's like this is serious business. Like this is like the stakes are here, and you need to know that. And the film does such a great job doing that at every turn. And you're like they love to like break check you and be like, there's still shit going on. Okay, we're not fucking. It's not sunshine and rainbows all the time. Okay, you be prepared for some crazy. So I love this film. It's such a balance of everything, and I thoroughly enjoy it more than the first film, and it leaves you wanting more. Even though like the final 30 minutes are just action packed, and like the tensions building and the war scene and just the whole 1v1, like that whole thing, perfect in my opinion.
Dude, the closing scene of this film, I think my jaw dropped. I was like, it was just, and especially because it was so simple. And I feel like that's the beauty of this film, is that it was so simple.
Yeah.
In a lot of parts.
Yeah, and it's crazy how we can call this film simple when we know that the CGI, like all the effects and everything to make it look like you're on another planet in another universe is incredible. And I think like just like how it is so simple, but it's like everything's methodical, and to go back to how the action choreography is, it's efficient. Everything's efficient. No wasted movements, no wasted breaths, no wasted time. And
no wasted words.
Yeah, no wasted word. Like no waste anywhere. Because I don't think there's any scene here that I could cut out and it be okay to do. There's more scenes we can add for sure, because we would like to expand the storyboard, but like we can't take anything out of the final cut of this film, of this full release, because all of it comes together in such a great package. Yeah, well, I think it's time to talk about our scores for this film. Genesee, we're going to start with you. What are you going to rate this thing? And should people go see it right away or no?
as the slut that I am, I have to give it 10 out of 10.
10 out of
This,
10.
like, if this film isn't a 10 out of 10, I literally don't know what is. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just so well done across the board. You should absolutely see it. You should see it in theaters. It's just an experience. Like, this is what it feels like to go to the movies, is this film. Like, this is why movie theaters were made.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Well said. I mean, like the whole thing, the way it's shot, like, it's so crisp. Like, you have to see it on the big screen. You have to.
Yeah.
Like, if you got to get into the exclusive theater too. You got to get into that, like, surround sound fucking IMAX theater. You got to see that. Have that experience.
Dude.
Devin, what are you scoring Dune Part 2? And should people go watch it?
Same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. People should go see it immediately. Watch part 1, go see part 2. This movie's incredible. It is a cinematic masterpiece, in my opinion. I love this movie. I want to go see it again.
Hell yeah. That's what Garrick said too. Garrick said he's fiending for another chance to watch Dune Part 2, so maybe you might see it over the weekend. He was supposed to be on the episode tonight, but he had some internet issues, so you can join us. But I know he really enjoyed the film. As for me, I hate to do it. I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm giving this one a 9. I can't give it a 10, because I think it's great, but it doesn't blow me away. Like, I think I reserve 10s for, like, it literally changes my life. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and because, like, I review at, like, you know, both ends of the spectrum. Like, if I say it's a 0, I literally want it to be deleted, and if it's a 10, I want it injected into my veins at the furthest moment, and it's the first thing I'll download when I get Neuralinked in the future. Okay. So I think it's a 9, but I do believe everyone should go see it, like, right now, as soon as you can. Bring your friend, bring family, go see it. It is incredible. It's an incredible film. I enjoyed a ton of it. There's some parts where I'm like, it can get a little bit confusing, especially if, like, for me, like, I don't know a lot about Dune, and even watching the first one, I still get kind of sidetracked. But, like, I'm confused, but I'm here. Like, I'm here for the ride, you know? But then, like, as the film goes on, like, towards the second half, like, I think the second half of this film is fucking perfect across the board. Like, it is just nonstop. Like, you're here, and then the big thing, and you're there for the big thing, and then you're like, fuck, when's part 3? You know? Like, you're just like, you see the credits, like, damn, part 3 needs to come out now. Like, that's how it is. But yeah, that's so 2 10s and a 9. That's like 9. Like, I think that's 9.5. I think. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's where if we're gonna do decimals, yeah, that'd be a 9.5.
9.5. I mean, I might as well. GK just gives it a 10.
29 over 30.
So just a
That
10,
right?
Yeah.
Well,
10. GK
this
gives
movie's
it
a 10.
This movie's a 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is
Regardless
10.
of my score,
I'm not
it
arguing
doesn't
it.
matter. My score doesn't
It's
matter.
a 10.
I used to be a Dune hater.
The decimal is like 9.667.
We're
So
rounding
yeah,
up.
we can round.
We're round up. It's a 10 out of 10. But please let us know what you think about Dune Part 2 if you saw it, before this podcast or after this podcast. Let us know in the comments below of this video or on our podcast channels. But this has been 20,000 Films Under the Sea, your choice for all the nerdy pop media news, reviews, and discussions you wanted each and every week. If you like what you heard, you can head over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on a podcast and video service near you. But if you emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that's cool with us. You can watch us record this show live at twitch.tv/goodkrakenshow. I repeat, twitch.tv/goodkrakenshow, GOODKRAKENSHOW on Twitch. You can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, hitting subscribe, or by leaving a review on our podcast channel by searching 20,000 Films Under the Sea, and we'll be there waiting for you. But until next time, as written, as it was written.
May my dagger chip and shatter.
Timothy Chalamet's a twink. Bye-bye.